What if the daughter you adopted wasn't a child? What if, behind that innocent little face, there was a mind capable of destroying your entire family? Christine thought she was saving a life, but in reality, she was opening the gates of hell. The episode begins with Christine remembering when she was young. She is driving around the city looking for young Michael who had disappeared during the night. She finds him standing on the railing of a bridge, completely vulnerable. Christine tells how that night was important in her life and how she saved Michael from himself and how he proposed to her. Back in 2019, Christine talks to Val about her affair and how she still manages to influence Michael. She says he told a lot of lies and ended up in jail. Christine reveals her intimacy with Michael when they were married and states that Michael's relationship with Jennifer is not as strong as theirs was. The scene cuts to Michael, who tells how things happened in 2011 when Christine signed a contract with a publisher. Christine is tidying up the house and talking on the phone about her book and another interview that will take place later. Michael enters the scene and Christine complains to him because he was in charge of getting Natalia out of the house so as not to disrupt the interview, and they haven't left yet. At that moment the doorbell rings and Christine thinks it's the woman from the interview, but when she answers the door she is shocked. It's from the Child Protection Agency. Christine doesn't understand what happened and they ask to come in to talk to the children, and Christine has no choice but to let them in. The man from the Child Protection Agency finishes talking to Natalia, who continues to act like a scared little girl. As they leave, Christine pressures Natalia by saying that she was the one who called the Child Protection Agency and also said that she would operate on her foot, which officially guarantees that Michael and Christine will have to pay for the surgery. Michael continues to defend Natalia and says that Christine has no proof that it was the girl. Christine tells Michael to get her out of the house quickly and they leave. Finally, the interviewer arrives and Christine takes her to a coffee shop. She tells a little about her son Jacob and the interview continues. The scene cuts to Natalia in the hospital after having surgery on her feet. The doctor says that she won't be able to walk for a few months. Christine and Michael look at each other. Christine and Michael are going through a lot of turmoil in their marriage because of Natalia. After all, Christine doesn't believe anything about Natalia while Michael blindly believes everything. All of this happens while Christine tells about her life and says how perfect her marriage and family are, which is definitely not true at the moment. The interviewer asks Christine to take her to her house so that she can get to know her better and finish the interview. With no other way out, Christine accepts and sends a message to Michael to get Natalia out of the house. At home, Christine continues her presentation and talks about Michael and that he is unemployed but they are getting on with their lives. At that moment Michael enters the house, but Christine doesn't see and hears the conversation, but leaves soon after. Jacob comes running in asking for help. Something is happening to Natalia. Christine runs out to see what happened. When she gets outside, she sees Natalia throwing the boys' toy cars into the middle of the street and into the cars. Wesley tries to get the toys and Christine pulls her son out of the middle of the street. They are both almost run over. Natalia says they were just playing and Christine pushes the girl to the ground. Michael arrives and Christine scolds him for disappearing when she should have been keeping an eye on Natalia. The interviewer watches everything in shock. Christine has no choice but to tell her the whole story. She asks her not to tell the publisher because her situation is extremely complicated. The interviewer assures her that she won't say anything and the book is Christine's. But if you're going to tell a story, make everyone tell the same story. In the next scene, Christine packs her and the children's bags. Michael asks what she's doing. She's going to take the boys to her mother's house. Christine says she won't let Natalie's try to kill her children and that they should have already committed the girl. Michael tries to appeal to his wife's heart, but fails. Christine takes the children and goes to her mother's house. Michael is at home feeling sad and Natalia comes into his room asking if he thinks they will get back together. Michael says yes and puts Natalia to bed. The next morning Michael calls Christine, but she doesn't answer and he leaves a message with some excuse. Christine listens to the message and they reminisce about the good times. Michael has an important job interview via video call and puts Natalia in a makeshift room in the garage with everything she needs. The time comes and during the interview someone knocks on the door. When he answers, it's the police saying they've received emergency calls. It was Natalia. The girl called 911 because she wanted pizza. Embarrassed, Michael asks the police officer for understanding and explains his current situation and how it's affecting his life. The interviewer hears everything in the background. The police officer decides not to do anything and leaves. Michael runs back to the interview, but it's too late. The interviewer had ended the call. Michael gets very upset and asks why Natalia did that, and she replies that she was bored. Unable to believe what he heard, Michael starts to put the pieces together and asks Natalia if she called the Child Protection Services like Christine said, and she denies it. Michael asks how he's going to get the family back together, and Natalia replies with a smile on her face. "I don't want them back, I want them to die." Upon hearing this, Michael realizes that Christine was right all along. Natalia wasn't who she said she was. Back at Christine's mother's house, she and her mother talk in the kitchen about Michael while the children play outside. The mother says that Natalia makes him feel big and Christine makes him feel small, and that part of the blame for this whole story is Christine's, and that she has delusions of grandeur, always thinking she is better than others. They also talk about their father. Christine says that when her father got sick and started seeing things, her mother did nothing. There is clearly a lot of resentment between the two. At that moment, Michael arrives to visit the family with Natalia. Christine barely speaks to him and goes straight to talk to Natalia, who was near the electric fence. She asks the girl what she wants in order to leave them alone. She asks if she does this for money or for fun. Natalia says that her words hurt her and asks why she doesn't love her and addresses her by her name, Christine. At that moment, Michael is inside the house with the children, who in fact don't pay much attention to their father. No one is seeing or listening to the conversation between the two. At that moment, Christine screams for help and Michael runs towards her. Natalia had pushed Christine over the electric fence. They call emergency services, who help her and release her. Christine can't take it anymore and asks Michael what needs to happen for him to see who Natalia really is, and reaffirms that she tried to kill her once again. Michael then says that he believes in Christine and begs her not to leave him. They talk while Natalia is further away outside the house. Christine asks Michael what they are going to do. Michael says that she is a psychopath and they can't take her back home. Michael suggests calling the police, but Christine says no because she might make up stories. They need to hospitalize Natalia. Michael tells Christine to take the boys home and he will take care of Natalia. At night at home, it rains heavily outside. Michael arrives home and Christine, upon receiving him, realizes that Natalia is still with him. Michael was unable to hospitalize Natalia, but he suggests something. They lock her in the makeshift room in the garage and Natalia screams, desperately asking to leave. Christine suggests telling the truth to the children and explaining her sister's situation. Meanwhile, they watch a movie with the boys. Natalia screams louder and louder, saying that she wants to leave and that she is going to kill them. Michael goes to the garage to make the girl stop. At that moment, the power goes out, and seconds later someone knocks on the door. They answer and the man identifies himself as Detective Taylor. He had received complaints from neighbors saying that they heard children screaming. He enters the house while Christine explains Natalia's situation. The detective asks to speak to the girl. Christine tells Taylor the whole story in detail. She points out that they do not know Natalia's real age and that she is a sociopath and pretends to be a child. The detective enters the garage and Natalia is hiding in the corner like a scared child. The scene cuts to Christine and Michael showing Natalia's documentation to Taylor. He says that Natalia denied the whole story and said that they are the ones who want to hurt her. Christine and Michael say they only wanted to help. In the detective's opinion, Natalia took advantage of the family and their generosity. He says they have proof that Natalia is much older than she says she is. He noticed that in one of the documents dated 4 years ago, Natalia was the same height as she is today. If she were really a child, she would have grown more since then. Michael and Christine had not noticed this detail. Taylor recommends that they cancel the adoption and return the girl to the state, but Christine is afraid that she will deceive another family. The detective has another idea: open a lawsuit to correct Natalia's date of birth. With a medical report guaranteeing that Natalia is no longer a child, it would be quite simple. And with her disability, it is possible that they can maintain custody of her, preventing her from committing the crime elsewhere. He ends by recommending a lawyer. In the next scene, several doctors analyze Natalia's records and they all come to the same conclusion. Natalia is not a child but a 22-year-old adult. The doctor writes a letter confirming the fact. Christine takes it to a judge who signs an emergency petition. Now Christine and Michael are Natalia's legal guardians, who is immediately taken by them to an apartment far away, with food, bills paid, and everything necessary for survival. Natalia will now live alone as an adult. Christine and Michael say goodbye to Natalia, saying that the lie is over and that she now has a new chance to start over and that she should tell the truth to anyone who asks. Natalia is extremely upset and agrees to the situation that has been imposed on her. She enters her new home and Christine quickly closes the door, leaves her alone, and they leave, relieved. So, what would you do in their place? A decision between saving your family or continuing to feed a lie. If this story has kept you hooked so far, don't forget to like it really helps the channel grow. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe now and activate the bell so you don't miss the next episodes of this surprising plot. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.